so frequently, and we got few common responses from them. Few of them said that it has become a habit for them. One lot said that they would not want to miss out on the fun that is happening on their WhatsApp groups. And then another lot said that they have a lot of applications like news applications in their phone and they keep getting notifications. So what is the reason why they really cannot stay without using their phone even for an hour? What is the reason why they, panic a lot when they do not have internet access? Why is it that checking their phone is the first thing that they do in the morning when they wake up? So today we will be talking about this concept called fear of missing out, which is very commonly known as FOMO. And we have with us Liza, a coach with Better Life Counseling Services, who would help us gain more clarity over this concept. Hi Liza.
Hello.
So first of all, I would like you to shed some light on the concept and what it actually means.
Right. So this is a very commonly seen scenario nowadays, that people are engaged in various social media platforms. And we are constantly bombarded with information, be it in the form of tweets, be it in the form of updates, stories, right? And so we see that people constantly jump from one social media platform to another, be it from Facebook to Instagram to Snapchat, Twitter. And what fear of missing out basically is an anxiety or an apprehension that something interesting or something exciting is happening outside in the external world that we want to be a part of. And that is why we have this habit of keep on checking our notifications, what is happening in this moment. So we want to be a part of it. And according to a survey, 56% of active social media users have faced or experienced fear of missing out. And as you mentioned in the introduction as well, 27% of active social media users, the first thing that they do is pick their phones in the morning to check the social media feed.
Alright, that is quite alarming. So what is the reason behind developing FOMO?
Right. So first of all, one of the reasons that we found common in people who are facing fear of missing out is that they are having a very lower level of satisfaction in their lives. Right? They feel that other people seem to be leading a far more exciting life or a far more interesting life than they are. When they see that other people are traveling, they see other people posting pics with celebrities. So they feel that they are missing out on things and their life is not as satisfactory as other people's.
Okay.
Because just think of it this way, if I'm a person who's very satisfied with my life, right, I would not feel that much of a need to check what others are doing.
So they are keeping it as a standard to check how their own lives are?
Yeah, they basically feel that other people's accomplishments, other people's achievements, their social media feeds are basically a window to what their life is. They forget that there is a difference between real life and real life.
Right.
And they use other people's social media feeds as a measure to check their basically what is happening in their life.
Alright.
This is one reason. Second is we have this deep-rooted psychological need to cut down on our losses.
Okay.
Because according to a research, any loss is twice more psychologically impactful as any gain. So we do not want to lose out on what is happening, or we do not want to lose out on what we presume other people are doing.
Okay.
Then third is that fear of missing out is not a new phenomena. It is not something that has happened recently. It is something that has been there since ancient times when humans were hunters and gatherers. What did they have to do? Basically, they had to be very aware of their surroundings. Their survival depended on their level of awareness. They had to assess risks, dangers, right, that they're exposed to. So it has only trickled down to a new form in the modern times, that is social media. So that is why we feel this need to be constantly updated and aware of what is happening around us. So this is something that has been coming from very ancient times. And the last factor that leads to fear of missing out is our need for closure.
Okay.
Let me explain it this way, that when you watch a movie, there is a intermission, there is a break, and then there is the end, right? After the end, you know that this movie has ended. The story is over. And when you read a newspaper, you know that the newspaper has ended. The update has ended after the last page.
Yeah.
But that's not the case in case of social media, right? Because there is constantly some new updates happening every single minute. And so we can spend the whole day, if you want, scrolling down our social media feeds. So there is no end. So we feel that we will miss out on something vital or important if we do not scroll to the next post.
Okay, so it is like the thing that we have watched just now is just a part of it. It's not the whole.
Yeah, and we have
thing.
to
And
know more.
Yeah, and there is more to it.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that we have understood what are the factors behind FOMO, how does it actually affect a person? I mean, nowadays you would very generally see people talking about the ill effects of social media and people suffering from depression and anxiety because of the increase in the usage of social media.
Right.
What are your thoughts about it? Because according to me, I think it is an outcome of something that is happening beneath. Right? Depression and anxiety is an outcome. So what are your thoughts about it?
Okay, so two major effects that fear of missing out has on a person is one, social comparison.
Okay.
Now, when I'm constantly aware of what the other person is doing, when I can see what the other people are doing in the present moment, I'm aware, I'm updated, right? So what tends to happen is that social media posts or social media pages that are more image based, like Snapchat or Instagram, what it tends to do is that it increases our likelihood to presume that other people are leading more happy lives than we are.
Okay.
Right? Now, how would that make a person feel? Like if I constantly feel that my life is not that exciting, that others are doing so much more exciting stuff than I am, it would make me feel sad. It would make me feel a negative mood. I would feel stressed or anxious or frustrated. And if a person does that over a period of a few days or months, it just magnifies that unpleasant feeling.
And probably then it turns into either depression or
when it is prolonged for a very long time.
Okay.
And the second factor is that fear in itself is a very unpleasant feeling. Like we would not want to experience fear. So what we tend to believe is that if I keep on updating myself, I will feel less of that anxiety. I would be aware, I would not be left out, I would be updated, right? So it becomes a cycle. In order to feel this less of this fear, I would keep on checking my social media notifications, my likes, tweets, and that in itself is also making me feel stressed because I feel that other people are leading more exciting lives.
Yeah.
It becomes a vicious cycle, right? So what tends to happen is that I would feel that this fear is lessening because I'm doing it, but in actuality what is happening is that it is not making me feel any better for myself.
Yeah, it is increasing in turn.
Yeah, and what tends to happen in our brains is that we are constantly in a hypervigilant mode.
Okay.
We want to be very, we constantly focus on what's happening in the outside. So if we are constantly thinking about or focusing on the external world, we are not present in the moment.
Yeah.
We are not in the here and now. We are not aware of what is happening within us.
It would steal your peace.
Yeah, so
completely.
It is like the opposite of this, basically.
All right. So now that we have a rough idea of what FOMO is, what are the factors behind it and how it affects a person, let's move to the main thing, like the most important part of the whole discussion, that how would a person overcome FOMO?
Right. So just like we mentioned right now, that our focus is always external because I'm thinking of what is happening outside. I feel that something interesting or exciting is happening in the outside world. So I want to be constantly checking my phone. What it tends to do is that, as I mentioned, we are not aware of the present moment. We are not able to enjoy what we are doing in the moment.
Yeah.
One of the things that can help us to feel more grounded in the present reality is mindfulness meditation.
Okay.
So it is very simple. It's not a cumbersome process. We can be comfortably seated or we can lie down and bring all our focus to our breath.
Okay.
So inhaling and exhaling and focusing only on our breath, because then it centers us. It makes us feel more focused in what is happening internally. So now there is a shift from the external to the internal.
Okay.
So that is one thing that can be done in order to fully enjoy the present moment.
Okay.
Second, when I'm constantly comparing myself to others, my focus is on what others have, or presumably what others have, rather than what I have.
Okay.
So a gratitude journal is one method where I can write down every day 3 or 4 things that I'm grateful about. That also brings about a shift in perspective, because now my focus is on what I have rather than what others have, or rather than what I don't have. So that also increases holistically, it increases our psychological satisfaction. And we feel that, we are blessed. So that is one thing. And apart from that, as we mentioned, that we're constantly just scrolling down. Even if it's not something that is more interesting to us, we would constantly just check our social media feed. It becomes a habit. So we are not aware of what exactly is going on inside.
Okay.
Once we are mindful and aware of what's happening, why is it that I'm feeling this constant need to check my phone? How is it making me feel? Am I feeling uncomfortable? Am I feeling anxious? Once I'm aware of what it is doing to me internally, how is it affecting me, then I will also take measures to reduce its effect. And one of the measures that we can take in order to reduce the effect is we can set aside a time period where we only focus on social media. Because at the end of the day, we cannot just completely stop using social media. And it's not that it only has ill effects. It is a beneficial tool.
Yeah.
It's just that we would have to prioritize. Instead of letting social media govern our whole day, our whole routine, we can set aside certain time period wherein we only focus on this need to be updated, to check our notifications. We can do that, be it 1 hour, be it 2 hours. But we do not let it trickle down to other parts of our day. So the rest of the time, I feel productive. I'm able to achieve, set my targets, do everything that I wanted, and I also fulfill my needs. So it becomes a balanced day. Right?
All right.
Yeah. So these are some of the few things that we can do.
All right. I'm sure this must have been really informative for our viewers. So, Liza, thank you so much for the information. So, what would you leave our viewers with, like as a food for thought?
Right. So, as we all are social media users, and as I mentioned that there are benefits, just like any side of a coin. It has its benefits, it has its bane. So, what I would want to leave you guys with is this thought that if we cannot live without social media, but we also do not want it to control our lives, then where do we draw the line?
Thank you so much, Liza, for the whole session. It was really good having you here. So, guys, if you are experiencing anything similar, please feel free to get in touch with Better Life. You can do this by visiting the website www.betterlife.com or calling them at 9266 26435. Stay tuned for more insights. Thank you so much.